Have you ever wondered how your favorite shopping app just knows what to recommend? Or how your social media feed feels so perfectly tailored to you? Well, it isn't magic. It's actually a set of hidden rules, the secret language that makes our digital world tick. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain on those rules and dive into the world of data types.
It all really starts with this one simple question. If you've ever tried to build anything with data, you've probably noticed that databases can be, well, incredibly picky about what you put into them. But what if I told you that this pickiness is actually their superpower? It's the secret to turning a total mess of information into something perfectly ordered and incredibly useful.
And this right here shows you exactly what I mean. On the left, you've got data chaos. It's just a useless jumble of stuff. Numbers, text, dates, all mixed together with no rhyme or reason. But over on the right, that's data order. It's clean, it's structured, and it's powerful. The magic that gets you from chaos to order all comes down to the rules we're talking about today.
So, let's get right into it. Section 1. The database's secret rules. These are the fundamental principles that databases use to make sense of all the information we're constantly throwing at them.
You know, the best way to get your head around this is to think about a perfectly organized closet. I mean, you wouldn't just throw all your clothes, shoes, and jewelry into a giant pile on the floor, right? Of course not. You use containers, shoe boxes for shoes, hangers for coats, little trays for jewelry. Data types are exactly the same thing, but for a database. They are the special containers that keep every single piece of information neat, tidy, and super easy to find. It's really the foundation of any system that works well.
So what actually is a data type then? I really like how the source material puts it. It's all about giving each piece of your data its own personality. Some data is a number, some is text, some is a date. Each one has its own unique character and rules.
Okay, so here's the more official definition for you. A data type is a named set of allowed values. Basically, for every single column in a database table, whether it's holding usernames, prices, or sign-up dates, you have to give it a data type. This is like a job description that tells the database exactly what kind of information is allowed to live in that spot.
And every single data type is a little powerhouse, constantly juggling three really important jobs behind the scenes. First, it's a bouncer at a club. It sets the rules for what values are even allowed in. Second, it's an efficiency expert, deciding exactly how much digital space that piece of information is going to take up. And third, it's an interpreter. It tells the database how to handle the data. Think about it. You can do math with numbers, but you definitely can't do math with a sentence. That's the data type at work.
All right, now that we've got that foundation, it's time to meet the main data families. And trust me, thinking of them as families makes it so much easier to remember what they all do.
First up, let's talk about the numbers family. The two biggest players here are int, which stands for integer, and decimal. You'd use an int for any whole number, things you can count, like the number of likes on a post. But for something that needs to be super precise, like the price of an item, you absolutely need decimal because it can handle fractions and decimals perfectly.
Next up, we have the text family. This one is a huge deal. You've got char, which is for fixed-length text. It's perfect for something like a two-letter state abbreviation because you know it will always be exactly 2 characters long. But for things like user comments or email addresses, where the length is all over the place, varchar is way more efficient. It's variable, which means it only uses the space it actually needs. And that can save a massive amount of storage, which saves money and makes everything run so much faster.
And it doesn't just stop at numbers and text. You've also got these incredible specialty families. Date time is absolutely essential for capturing timestamps, like when a purchase happened. A blob, which stands for binary large object, is how you store things like images or entire PDFs. Then you have geometry for mapping data, and JSON, which is this super flexible format that's used in tons of modern apps.
Okay, so we've met the families, but how do we choose the right one for the job? This is where the strategy comes in. And it really all comes down to applying what you could call the Goldilocks principle. You've got to find the one that's just right. The core idea here is really simple. Your goal is to always use the smallest data type that can safely and reliably fit all of your potential data. See, if you choose one that's too small, your data might get cut off or rejected. But if you choose one that's way too big, you're just wasting space and slowing things down. It has to be just right. Let's make this really practical. So, say you're storing an email address. What do you use? Varchar, of course, because emails have different lengths. What about the price of an item? Well, that needs decimal for that perfect precision. A single letter grade like A or B, a char of length 1 is absolutely perfect. It's fixed, it's efficient. And for something like the population of a city,
That's a large whole number, so you'd go with an int. See, every single choice is deliberate and has a very specific reason behind it.
So why do we go through all this trouble? Why does this even matter? Let's wrap things up by connecting these small technical choices to their massive real-world impact.
The payoff, the whole point of doing this, comes down to hitting these 3 goals. First, you need a data type with enough range to hold all your possible values, so nothing ever gets lost. Second, you need enough precision to be accurate, because let's be honest, nobody wants their bank balance to be rounded off. And finally, it all has to be done with minimal storage to keep the system fast, responsive, and cheap to run.
I just love this quote from the source material because it really sums everything up perfectly. Mastering data types ensures your tables are efficient, your queries are fast, and your data remains clean and reliable. That's the trifecta right there. That is the goal.
And here's the bottom line. These seemingly tiny, technical decisions are the absolute bedrock of our digital lives. They are the reason our favorite apps are snappy and fast, the reason our financial information is reliable, and the reason all the systems we count on every single day actually work.
So we've taken a look at the hidden rules that bring order to all that data chaos. They're kind of like the grammar of the digital world, the invisible architecture holding up our modern lives, allowing us to build amazing, efficient, and reliable things. And that just leaves us with one final question to think about. Now that you know the rules, what could you build with them?